Hi everybody, this is Christine. I am doing something a little bit different today. First, I am playing Watermelon Game on my Switch. Thank you to my husband for helping me figure out how to record things on my Switch. That is very exciting. The other thing that I'm doing actually today is I am resurrecting a form of video that I was doing last year. I stopped doing it because of stuff going on in my life. Some of my videos have touched on that before, over the last couple months, because I think I'm being more forthcoming about it online, just because it's such a huge part of my life. But also, I think that dwelling on it has been a net negative. So I am going to try to start vlogging in a more positive way and talking about, the things in my life that are actually pretty cool. And maybe that will remind me that, aside from the gaping hole that is that part of my life, everything kind of is cool and everything is great in its own way. Because I do feel like apart from that, I'm really happy and I'm really doing a lot of cool, interesting things. I just need to remind myself of that. So resurrecting this format of video, I think, is going to be my attempt to do that, or at least my first attempt to do that. The format is REPORT, which is reading, eating, playing, obsessing over, recommending, and treating yourself to. And honestly, I don't treat myself to very many things. I can be kind of a very frugal person. So this might also just be an excuse to be a little bit more indulgent with myself and being more gentle with myself, especially, because things have been really hard. Things were really hard last year. So I am going to attempt to do that today without bumming everybody out. And I'm also going to be doing that while playing this game. So hopefully I am good at this game again. Yes. Sometimes you just gotta let gravity do its work in this game. The thing that I'm reading is this book right here. It is called The Elsewhere Express. It's a really, really good book. I just started it. I don't necessarily want to get too far into what it's about, especially because I haven't really jumped into it yet, because I haven't been doing a lot of reading, and I know that I know for me personally, if I'm not reading or if I'm not being creative, I know it's a bad thing for me personally. And if you've seen my AO3 page, I haven't been writing. It's been kind of messy, so which I hope to rectify this year, and I will rectify this year. Part of the reason why I bought this as a hardcover is that it's so pretty. It's my aesthetic exactly. I really, really like it. The pages are really beautiful. And I also picked up an ebook called The Devils, which is about a priest in this alternate kind of historical religious world where there are vampires and monsters and things, and he has become their parishioner kind of against his will, and that's been really interesting. I got that as an ebook because it's really long, whereas this is just a regular size book, and this is actually small enough where I can take it in my purse with me. So I've been reading it at work, and that's been really cool. My screen time on my phone, I've been doom scrolling a lot, hence the mental health stuff, but I have also been doing most of my reading on my phone. So my screen time is obscene, and I know it's not even necessarily fair for it to be that obscene, because are you gonna do it? Are you gonna go? Are you gonna? No, you're not gonna do it. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. That's how you do it. I'm also again trying to jump back into Throne of Glass, except the latter half of Throne of Glass is boring me to tears, except for Tower of Dawn. So I don't know how I'm going to continue. And honestly, I feel like I would like to continue, just because ACOTAR 6 might be getting announced. I've been hearing some chatter online about Sarah J. Maas going on Call Her Daddy, and that would be a very strange place to announce ACOTAR 6, but if we get ACOTAR 6 after 5 years, I don't care where it's announced. I just want it to happen, As for what I'm eating, I am eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You would not believe this, but I have some pretty significant texture aversions, and they were a lot worse when I was a kid. So I had never had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich until last week. And again, because of, the depressing stuff, I was thinking about, introducing, our future kid to kid food, And it would be really hard for me to do that because a lot of that stuff I haven't eaten, or like I find like kind of icky just because of like my texture stuff. So I was like, you know what? I announced to my husband, I want to, over the course of the snowstorm, today is March 1st. So last week was the snowstorm. I was like, I want to try a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So we went to the grocery store to stock up for the storm. And one of the things that we got was black cherry fruit preserves, because I figured that would be like less of a texture issue for me. And I made the sandwich. It was regular creamy peanut butter with black cherry fruit preserves, and then on my sourdough bread that like I had warmed up a little bit because I keep my bread in the freezer. And honestly, it was delicious. I fucking love it. No, I fucked it up. No, I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I want to try lots of different flavors and jump into all of that. And I am very excited to do so. I feel like raspberry would be really good. Blueberry would be really good. I want to try Concord grape because that's like the classic thing. As for what I'm playing, I am playing Suika game. I'm playing Suika game. I am trying to get back into Pokemon ZA. I want to like Pokemon ZA much more than I do. I'm such a Kalos girly. I love being able to like walk around Lumio City and things like that. But there's just something about the game, like I'm just not good at it. And because I'm not good at like this kind of combat, I've been kind of avoiding it, which sucks because I love Kalos and I feel like I'm not rising to the challenge of the game, and that kind of stinks. I know like my husband didn't like the game that much, so maybe I'm kind of like coming up against the things that made him dislike the game. But I also just really like Lumio City. I like being able to wander around with my Meganium, like hitting, you know, mega rocks or whatever. So like it's been fun, but I also know I'm at a point in the game where like it is kind of hard. So I don't know if I need to think about like team recomposition, or if I need to really think about doing or just doing like an overhaul or some sort. I have a Delphox on the team and I don't have the DLC, so it's not like Delphox can mega evolve, so that's a whole other problem. The other thing that I'm playing musically, I got really into Zara Larsson this month. I might be a trend writer, I do not give a fuck. To return to the sad thing, one of the things that I got from my TikTok feed over the course of the last year is really sad infertility content. And I know that did a number on my mental health, and it was not necessarily the best thing for me to be constantly exposed to that. It wasn't something that I kept seeking out, but because it was something that I kept talking about, I'm coming in and out of clinics, like my app, I guess, heard that and just kept giving me that content. But then Zara Larsson's Midnight Sun is starting to really blow up. And she had that song with Pink Pantheress and Stateside and all of that. So that essentially just cleared out my whole feed. And I was just like, holy shit, I love the song. And then I realized, oh my God, I haven't been bummed out by like stuff that's really sad. And like that has been huge for my mental health. It's like my advice, which is me going into like recommending. I think I'm like going ahead of myself into recommending. I'm skipping over obsessing over right now. The one thing that I would recommend is if you feel like your mental health is getting like really shitty and you find yourself like on TikTok a lot, because like I do a lot of content creation and things like that, I would ask myself if I'm doing just a lot of scrolling about things that make you sad. And if they do, then try and find something else, or embrace the new thing that the feed gives you, so that you can kind of do like a little media reset. I'm not like all the way back to, you know, stasis with that yet, but I know like that's been super helpful for me. So that's something that I would recommend. One thing that I'm obsessing over, to go back to music and pop girls and all of that, the Swiftologist put out a video about the 7 levels of pop girls, the 7 levels of pop boys. And I have been wondering, is that scalable to authors, especially given like, you know, the enshittification of all different kinds of media and the way that books are becoming a lot more fast fashion. I feel like The Fourth Wing is a really good example of how do I pronounce this? The fast fashionification of books. And not that music, because I know like music has its own form of fast fashion, and AI is like rife on Spotify. I'm so glad I have Apple Music. Holy shit. It's one thing that I've been really thinking about, where it's like, is the enshittification of media and the way that books are advertised to us, is that scalable to the way that we talk about pop girls? We don't really talk about books the way, like, about like their theme or anything anymore. We talk about like their tropes, and we talk about, you know, like stuff that's kind of like spoiler territory. And it's one of those things where it's like that we have to decide, like, as quickly as possible, is this something that is going to land in that is it going to land? It kind of reminds me how of like The Life of a Showgirl came out and Taylor Swift was kind of reheating Sabrina Carpenter's nachos, so to speak, like as the kids say. So that's something that like I'm obsessing over. It's something that like I'm thinking about. Just, is the way that we talk about pop girls scalable, especially in romantasy, where romantasy is like a marketing thing. And it's a marketing thing because, like, when you think about like pop girls, not all of them are in the same genre. Like, I wouldn't call like Olivia Dean the same as like Addison Rae or something like that. And Addison Rae is great, by the way. I saw it a couple weeks ago, and it's been super interesting, and I am going to lose this game. Oh no, I'm not. Oh my god, I lived, bitch. There you go. Okay. I think we're still gonna die, though. I think we're still gonna die right here. Yep, that's it. Oh my god, I lived. Oh my god, I lived. Yep, no, okay. That is kind of what I'm obsessing over. And like, the thought hasn't like fully solidified yet. I can't think of like the tiers of authors, but when you think about the way that like power lives in writer spaces, like who has influence online, who has influence among the critics, who has influence among the masses, who sells the most, these are the kind of conversations that we have about pop girls. And I do think that it's scalable. I feel like I need somebody to like bounce this idea off of, because I actually brought this to my book club and they think that I'm crazy. Like they were just like, I don't think that this is scalable in the way that you think, because the genres are too different. But I'm not necessarily thinking about it as like mediums. I'm thinking about it as, you know, the way that they're marketed. And maybe I'm not an expert on marketing. Maybe I'm not the person to make this list, but I do want to try, because I think it would be fun, and again, it would be something else to think about besides, you know, the sad stuff. We have done REPORT. I am treating myself to, honestly, I treated myself to the thing that let me make videos with my Switch, so that's been really fun. I don't know if I'm gonna do all of these report videos with the Suika game, but I also think that this was really fun for me to make and kind of cathartic. I don't know if this is gonna be entertaining for anyone to watch, but I feel like it was good for me to make, so I'm glad that I made it. To sum it up, I am reading this book right here, The Elsewhere Express. I am eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the first time in my fucking life. I am obsessing over whether the way we talk about pop girls and the way that we talk about authors, especially romantasy authors, is kind of the same and is something that can be quantified in a similar way. I am playing Suika game. I am playing a lot of Zara Larson. I am trying to get back into Pokemon ZA. I am recommending letting your TikTok feed reset to try to get all of like the sad shit out of the way. That way your mental health can be preserved a little bit, especially if you're someone who makes content and is on TikTok a lot. Things can be fun. Summer doesn't have to be over yet, you know? As for treating myself, I treated myself to the thing that lets me make videos on my Switch, which is really exciting. I am looking forward to playing more games on this channel, especially because this is going to be YouTube focused stuff. Like, this is stuff that I would put on YouTube rather than on TikTok first. So I feel like that's going to be really fun. I hope that this is something that you guys want to see more of, because I'm probably going to be making a little bit more of it. Today is March 1st. I am recapping the week of February 22nd to February 28th. I will see y'all next week with probably a little bit more Suika game. Have a great day.